have Akanksha with us. So Akanksha, in her college days, went to do a internship in Canada, saved lakhs of rupees, came back to India, went back to Paris to do her PhD and masters. And today we'll have Akanksha talk through us about her journey. So Akanksha, over to you.
Thank you so much for having me. What do you want me to
Maybe you can
talk about?
start with what you are doing currently.
Yeah. So I'm doing a PhD in France. So it's a project between Paris and there is another lab near the Alps. And it's in Paris, I'm currently living. And in France, the PhD is like 3 years. Can extend up to 4 years, but not more than that. So right now I'm in my second year of PhD.
Okay, so we'll start a bit from the back. So you received this internship from MITACS where you got the opportunity to go to Canada, get some international exposure and save a lot of money. So it was fully funded. So how did you manage to get that?
So when I was in, I did my bachelor's. I did like an integrated bachelor and master's in IITS in Dhanbad, from geology. So I got to hear from my seniors who had gone to Canada through this MITACS program, which is fully funded. So I started talking to them, and then I was like, yeah, I want to have this opportunity, or I want to try. So there is like a application procedure, which usually starts around September. So I applied for that, and fortunately, I got the opportunity. So I went for Canada. I went actually to University of Alberta in Edmonton. And it was a 3 month experience, and it was very nice. It was everything was covered, like the accommodation. They used to give living stipend for every week, and also the travel, like the flight was also covered. So that's how I started my journey. Because I did an industrial internship in the second year of my bachelor's, in ONGC, but I didn't really like the industrial work. I felt it was not for me. So I wanted to explore how it is in the research. I really tried a lot to get something in India, but I didn't get anything. And then I got to know about this program, so I applied for this one, and fortunately, I got it. So good.
And I believe there would be thousands of applicants for MITACS. So what do you think distinguished you or helped you get through it?
So as I was gathering more information from my seniors who had gone to Canada, what there are certain things that I noticed, like um, so the system of MITEX is like you apply to projects. It's not like, so like if you know about other foreign internship applications, so let's say Charpak Lab Scholarship or DAD Wise Scholarship. So in this all, you have to find a professor, you have to find a project, you apply to, like you fix that, and once you have that, then you apply for the scholarship. But the MITEX, they don't do that. Like they have a huge website in which they have all they up they call for projects from Canadian professors, and then they submit their projects there, and then the MITEX then ask for application, and as an applicant you can apply up to 7 projects in three. You have to apply in 3 different province. So in Canada they have different, like we have states in India, they have province, and you have to apply minimum to 3 different province, and 7 applications you can send. So on each project it will be written what is the project, who's the supervisor, what is the description of the project, and then they also write what are the student skills they need or what kind of student they're looking for. So when I was applying or when I was selecting for the projects, I used to read them very carefully, and I used to see, okay, which skills align with my interest or my skills. Because okay, you can apply to very big universities because they are big universities, but maybe your skills are not aligned with that. So then the chance of getting the internship is lower. So I first shortlisted the projects based on my skills and my interest. After that, when I was writing the motivation letter, I kept those things in mind, like what are the project I'm applying? How can I write something which applies for all of them? And then the next important thing that I will say that I hadn't applied for like only big universities or like big professors because a lot of students does that or do that. So they go for big universities. Okay, we want to go to only very well ranked university or we'll go to well ranked professor in our field. But everyone will apply to them. So your application being picked on is like the probability is lesser and the competition is higher. So if you want to increase your probability of getting MITACs, so it's better to look also at the like what other younger professors or what they have to offer. And it's not like they have bad things. They like I had an amazing experience. My professor was associate professor. She was not a very huge like big professor, but she was very nice. We had a very nice research team and I had amazing experience working with her. So also the thing is, if you get a big professor, like someone very renowned, very like well established in their field, there's a high chance they won't have time to guide you during the internship. So it's also like if you want to really have a good like experience, then go for someone who is not that like established. I mean, that's what I felt. So then you can have a nice mentor there. So I picked some big universities, but mostly I had applied for small projects here and there. And then they have this like first round of selection where they select based on CV, your motivation letter, which is done by the MITACs. And then the second round of selection happens by the professor. So I got some interviews from two professors, and then I had the interview. And then one of them I got.
And do you think GPA plays a role in MITEX?
Um, it does play a role in getting the first round of selection because in first round that's a criteria, but I don't think that plays a role. I think it's about like supply and demand. So like for a project, how many like okay, they wanna usually want 1 to 1, they want to match 1 to 1 and they like to give like a distribution of okay, we want to send same amount of interns to different province. But it's like they can't give all the ones applying for Toronto University, let's say under one professor, they can't give. So then they have to choose, like they will send, let's say, top 10 candidates. So when you are competing among them, your GPA matters because there are hundreds of application who is coming from only one person. But when you're applying to other, as I said, smaller this, that, and if your skills are aligned with the project you're applying, I think GPA is a criteria, but it doesn't really matter.
And can you talk about some challenges that you would have faced while applying and while your internship was ongoing in Canada?
So one of the biggest challenge I had was 1 week before my date to departure to Edmonton, my flight got cancelled. I had booked a flight in Jet Airways and now it doesn't exist anymore. So it was that time when that had happened. So then I had to book another flight and then the prices were very high because MITACs give you like 1,500 Canadian dollars. I don't know if they have increased it now, but at my time in 2019, they were giving 1,500 Canadian dollars and I have to book in that, right? So, and at the last moment, the prices were very high. So then I wrote to the MITACs, okay, can I shorten my, because they ask you to, it's mandatory to do 12 weeks of internship. So it's like 3 months. So I asked them, can I shorten it to 10 weeks so that I can go a bit later? And I could not have extended in the other direction because my university were not allowing me to do that in India. So I asked them, can I like shorten it to 10 weeks? And they were like, okay, fine. And then I got a new flight after after 15 days and I came. So I think that was the biggest challenge. There I didn't feel, I mean, there was challenge going to a new country, but I don't feel as such because it's an English speaking country. People are very nice. And then a lot of people goes like once you get your offer, then through Facebook and WhatsApp and all, we got to know who are all going from India to the university. Then they usually have like MITACS usually have like a mentor system where like they assign a mentor to each student so that the mentors can help you. Um, First of all, their job is to pick you up from the airport and make you reach your home, wherever you have booked your accommodation, finding accommodation, opening a bank account, and like showing you around the university and city. So it's like they really keep like, okay, maybe the person is coming for the first time, they should have a good experience, these kind of things in mind. So I didn't think like I had challenges or something. And my lab was very nice. Everyone was very cooperative. So, and my professor was very sweet. She like trained me on all the equipments or all the techniques that I used. So yeah, I think that was the only challenge I had was booking the new flight.
That's an interesting challenge. But I remember from my time in my tax, the mentors are so helpful. It's like they literally take care of you like their children. I at one point felt they even my parents don't care for me as much as my mentor is caring for me.
The only thing is, because I got an internship in University of Alberta, they don't have this mentors program. So it was written in the, like when we got the offer letter that University of Alberta interns are not gonna get mentors because University of Alberta has an international this program. They take care of students. So I am like, okay, what is this? I have no idea. So, well, they didn't take care of accommodation or something. They didn't help us. So we had to find the accommodation by on our own. They had given us a taxi voucher with which we can reach our home for free. And they used to organize a lot of events here and there for us. But yeah, I think having one-on-one mentor is amazing. Something I didn't have, but I went with another intern from India. So we went together. So for us, it was not difficult. Like it was, but not that difficult.
So now let's talk about your PhD. So the first question I have is you already had a master's degree from India. So why another master's degree from France?
So, because I studied in ISM Dhanbad, the degree was like integrated Master of Technology in Applied Geology. So it was not very research oriented. It was more preparing students for industries. And when after that I was applying for PhDs here and there, I was not getting very good like offers. And more than that, I felt I lacked the maturity to know what I want to really do, something like that. So then I wanted to do a research master's to know more my field, to know more my to explore more my interest because PhD is like a commitment. And like if I go, I could have gone to US or something. There the PhD is 5 years. So I didn't want it to go to US. It was a personal choice because I am the only child of my parents and US is very far away from India, like 12 hours, roughly 10, 12 hours away, time zone wise. I'm not saying flight time. So they were a bit like, they were not at all interested in sending me abroad. So I negotiated with them, okay, what if I go to Europe? It's not that far away. Will you guys be okay? So they said, okay. And when I was looking for opportunities in Europe. In Europe, because PhD is 3 years usually, it's easier to get the PhD if you are doing a master's in Europe. But if you are applying from India, it's not like people don't get it, but it's difficult. And what I have noticed, especially after coming here, that all these research institutes like ISER, NISER, they have a tie-up. They usually have a tie-up with a foreign university in Europe or other places. But I didn't have that. Like ISM didn't have anything like that. So for me, I needed to do a master's. Also, as I said, I wanted to explore my field a bit. So I found this master's, which was just for 1 year in France, and it was in English. So I came for that one. And then in French system is when you are doing your so here in France, the masters is called like M1 and M2. It's not continuous. So you get your M1, you do your M1, which is like first year of masters, and then you apply for M2. And you can only do M2 if you already have if you have done a BTech, let's say you have done 4 years of bachelor's, you can directly go for M2 because you have done 4 years of study. So I came for this one, and I got a scholarship also for that. I actually also got another offer in Canada, but that was 2 years of research master's. So then I chose this one. And then I had heard from some people that here, like in M2, you have 6 months of like coursework and 6 months of internship. And usually there is like a PhD offer associated with the internship, usually not always. So you can just continue your M2 thesis into your PhD. The transition is usually easy. Well, I didn't do that, but there is this option. So yeah, that's why I came here.
This is really valuable information. So, what would be your suggestion to the younger generation who are trying to, okay, not younger generation, we are not that old, but the newer generation that is trying to go for a PhD? Would it be just complete your bachelor's or BSc and then apply for masters?
I will say if you want to go for a PhD, first you need to be sure you want to do a PhD. It's like a commitment. You can't quit. I mean, you can quit, but it's not an easy life. I mean, it's not a very difficult life. I love what I'm doing and I absolutely love my life. I think it's one of the best time of my life. But it's definitely not a easy. And living abroad is in itself is a challenge. It's you manage everything on your own. We cook by ourselves, we clean ourselves, we take care of every bit of our house by ourselves, and everything is expensive. So you have to manage your money, and then you can't go home whenever you want. You have to see, and then, like, sometimes we fall sick or something. So it can get lonely also sometimes, like, especially when I came in 2021, it was a bit of COVID time. So yeah, a lot of people were feeling that blues and all. So it's not easy. It's not all fancy, what you see in Instagram reels and all. It's not like that. I like when I talk to my friends in India, they are all like complaining about they're all working in software industries and stuff, and they complain to me that, oh, our maid hadn't come, that's why we had to clean all our dishes. And I'm like, I'm doing that every day, guys. Like, that's not a problem. It doesn't seem like a problem to me, but okay, I understand you guys are not used to it. So it is. So you have to be, I think you need to be determined and mentally prepared for that. And the well, I don't know about US or something. In Canada, I felt the level of education was like good. And in France also, it's very like good level of education. French universities are not very popular. They don't come in world rankings, but they do one of the amazing research. They have amazing programs where they teach amazing things. The system is a bit because of the language, it's not that easy to get in. So that's why they don't have good rankings because they don't have that much international students, and they have very, very few international faculty. everything goes in French usually, so that's why they don't have good rankings. But I mean, coming to abroad is a challenge. What I will like to say to them that if they are really sure, they should go for it for sure. In life, nothing comes free, nothing comes easily. You have to put an effort. And there is a lot of opportunities in Europe and US and other places. And then it's like their choice what they want to do. One of the reason I came to Europe for my master's because Europe is cheaper in the sense that I only paid 350 euros for 1 year tuition fee. That's like if you compare to even ISM tuition fee, it's nothing. Like I think I paid more in ISM for a year than here. And then they were giving me 1000 euro per month scholarship. And on top of that, during my internship, I was getting some extra money because in France, they have the rule if you're doing internship more than 2 months, they have to pay you like the minimum amount, which is like 500 to 600 euros. So, mm, yeah,
It
it's
seems like France is paying you to study there.
yeah, actually, we get a lot of, as a student, we get a lot of benefits. So if you're under 26, your public transportation is cheaper because you pay only 360. I think they have increased it a bit, but like roughly 30 to 40 euros per month. And then you get something called housing allowance. So like on whatever rent you are paying, the government give you back some money because they were like, okay, students can't afford the accommodation well. And then in France, the health is given by the government. So you are covered under the social security of France. So if you fall sick or something, doctors and all you can get for like cheaper prices. And then like it's like 70% of it is covered. And then there is another complimentary. So, like at the end, you don't pay money that much. So yeah, but it's not easy to survive France. Huh? That's got that is something I had no idea in my mind. But after
Okay,
I came, I realized the language is a problem.
coming to that, apart from the language, are there any other challenges that you are facing?
No, I won't say there is any other type of like discrimination or anything I have ever faced. It is just the usual challenges of doing a PhD. And as I'm doing something where I have to do experiments and all, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And then I'm like, and sometimes I understand why they're working, not working, and sometimes I have no clue why it's not working, and then it's frustrating. And then you are like, what is why my life is like this? But when it works, you are like on the top of the cloud, like, oh, wow, I had a great week. So that's just like normal PhD, which I think irrespective of where you are working, you are gonna have that. But I won't say there is like any challenges as such. Yeah.
Can you talk about some key enablers that helped you through this PhD journey and helped you get a PhD in the first place?
So, as I was saying, in Europe to get a PhD, I mean, you can apply individually to professors and stuff, but it's easier if you do a master's here, then it's easier to apply. So, first thing is doing a master's, let's say. Or maybe some people might not be interested in PhD. They want to come to France or Europe or US or Canada for doing a master. So the one thing which kind of attracted me to apply for masters here, you don't have to give GRE or any of those English level test or anything. If you have been taught in English, they accept it and there is no GRE score required. And these exams are very expensive. So I didn't wanted to pay. I mean, if in your field want to do something that is in US, so definitely go there. I have nothing against US, but it was a personal choice. And then um, what I can suggest is that look for opportunities that align with your interest. Write a nice motivation letter. and this is a rule of thumb for every motivation letter you write. Someone has given me this advice that it's like a love letter. So you tell, you don't have to just tell about yourself like, okay, you know, I have done this, I have done that. You have to say ki, I have done this, which can be useful for you, which is the why I'm the most suitable candidate, because what you are looking for, I have that. This is what I have to contribute. And I have this professional aspects in my life that your program can give me. So we can both mutually benefit from this opportunity. So it's like it's a key to any motivation letter you write in your life. It's the same pattern. You have to write, you have to keep this in your mind while you're writing. So that's something I can suggest. Make a nice clean CV. Don't put too much things. Put relevant information as you are applying to the program. Yeah, I feel like I have nothing like tricks to give people when it comes, because this is like, but maybe people don't know. I have no idea. I think some people, when they come to me, I have been contacted through LinkedIn. And I was also like I don't know if you know, MITACS has a student ambassador program. So I was the student ambassador for 3 years. And in between 1 year, the internship got cancelled because of COVID. So a lot of questions I used to get on those kind of things. So I used to answer them. And like sometimes some people contact me through LinkedIn or something. So, okay, how will you say we apply for Charpak Lab? Because I also had gotten Charpak Lab scholarship in 2021 to do an internship in France. But because of COVID and visa issues, I couldn't come. I also had gotten another internship in UCL, but that internship was cancelled because it was in 2020 COVID, summer COVID. So yeah, I mean, if someone has any questions to ask, like specific questions, they can contact me through LinkedIn and I can answer the questions. I will be happy to do that.
Awesome. I think when people think about going abroad for internships or education, the biggest concern they have are money and discrimination. But you are an example, and from my personal experience also, money is always taken care of by the host university or host country. So you actually save money. And I don't think there is as such discrimination in at least Europe or Canada or any Asian countries.
Yeah, money, I think in the beginning, like for example, for Canada even, or like for example, for me coming to Paris, initially my parents paid some of the money because I get the scholarship after coming here, or Canada, I got the money after going there. So the initial I took from them, but then later I saved and I get it back. Well, they are my parents, so I didn't give it back to them, but like at the end I got the money out of it. So yeah, that's I mean, if you want, you can somehow arrange, but I will not recommend go for opportunities paying your own money for an internship. I don't think it's worth it. Try. I mean, if you try well enough, you can get paid this thing. And there is couple of like, if you are in when you are in undergrad and you want to have a test of abroad, how the things work in abroad, so there is MITACS for Canada, there is University College of London has its own internship, summer internship program for international students. There is Sherpa Club scholarship for France. There is Dad Wise scholarship for Germany. But Dad Wise is a bit, GPA matters a lot more. But for Charpak, it doesn't matter that much, honestly. And then there is, I think, U trip or use. I forgot. There is one for Japan or Korea. Japan, I think. So there is a lot of opportunity. And if you look for, you can. And now the people have Chat GPT. They can ask Chat GPT, oh, give me all this. Chat GPT will make a list and give it to them. So we should make the best use out of our tools. And I think if you have a motivation, you will find a way for sure. The thing is, when you are
Akanksha,
applying to professors and writing, there is a high chance you can get demotivated because not everyone replies, and most of the people doesn't reply. But at that time, you just think, "Ki, okay, my work is to send emails, and that's what I'm gonna do. And one day I will get an answer." I had written like 50 or 60 emails before I got a like yes from for my Charpak application. So that's pretty normal and that's okay. Don't get demotivated.
thanks, Akanksha. And I think you already have this passion for mentoring people. You were the MITACS ambassador for 3 years. That's like unbelievable dedication. So if someone wants to reach out to you for any guidance, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I will be happy to help. The only thing is I'm very busy. I'm getting busier by day with my PhD. So if I have time, I will love to reply or I will reply, but maybe I don't have time or maybe I am not able to give that much time to reply, but I will be definitely happy to reply or I will be happy to mentor people. I don't have a problem. I feel like someone helped me, I helped someone. That's how the life works. So
So I'll put Akanksha's LinkedIn profile in the description. Please feel free to reach out to her. Do expect delays and be considerate that she is busy. Even she replies to me after 2 days. So it's understandable from her work-life balance that you will get a delayed response, but you will surely get some useful information from her. So
thank you
again,
for
thank you,
having me.
Akansha, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And all the best for all the people who wants to apply abroad or want to have that experience.